every studio, this is treated differently. So I might tell you one thing here and show you one thing here. But like the size of like the UVs per student you go to, your supervisor might say, okay, we want it at this size for everything. And then you might, when you leave that job and go on to another job, you're like, no, we're not doing that size. We're doing in this size of the UVs. All right. So anyways, I'm going to copy this link too, and going to save it. Where am I? Going to save it. I'm going to go back out into the post, and let's create a new post. Yeah, post that. There we go. Cool. Gonna pin it. All right. So we throw out this fancy word, but like I'm not really into throwing around those fancy words too much until we actually get going. So let's get going. Let's look at the reference images I was saying about how this asset is supposed to look. That's the first thing that you have to do is look at your asset. Um, as you can see, it's made up of wood and metal pieces. It's a game asset, but we're gonna texture it realistically enough. Um, so we're gonna try to blend it into like a live action, like a we could put it we could put it like we could try to composite like what I want you guys to do, just not probably for because you guys are in a compositing class, right? Try to comp like when you guys learn how to texture this, try to comp it into a realistic scene. That'll be fun, right, guys? Hello? Can't hear you
Yes.
guys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun, right? So that'll be awesome. So, um, yeah, another thing, how would I approach texturing this? I would say this is a hero asset. Um, I'm saying it's gonna take special treatment, meaning I might have to use ZBrush. Everybody here familiar with ZBrush? Anybody familiar with ZBrush? ZBrush? I
No, no.
can't really see you guys. No, no ZBrush? Okay. Ever never sculpted ZBrush?
I've
No?
tried sculpting in Blender, but not ZBrush.
Not ZBrush. Okay, okay. So, all right. Second question. How many people have access to ZBrush though? You guys have access?
Haven't really checked it until now. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if I have like a student access or something. You have to check
Student
it out.
access. Yeah, I'm going to advise you to please check it out because what I'm going to do, I'm going to probably not going to show you how to do it in this class, but I'm going to do a video recording of me sculpting like do like some, extra love sculpt to this asset here. And what I'll do, I'll just go over the tools you need to sculpt it to make it look good. That's it. And how to export it from ZBrush and bring it into Substance Painter. That's about it. And I think after I show you guys that, you guys are going to love that workflow. You guys are going to feel a bit comfortable. It's not like, I hated ZBrush for like several years. But then after a while, I started loving it because it's an awesome tool. Okay? All right. I think somebody just messaged something here. Let me just take a look. Uh, oh, somebody said, I've worked few. Okay. All right, cool. So this is what it looks like. Let's see if I have any more images of it. I have this one. And um, just like that. So key thing is when you're gonna UV unwrap, you just have to look at your surfaces and examine it, look at your reference, and just get familiar with it. All right. Okay, cool. So let's get to business. Get to Maya. Okay, cool. So when it comes to tools in Maya for UV unwrapping, uh, we could make sure you're in the modeling menu, modeling up here, and this thing called UV. Actually, I'm going to marquee drag select everything. If I should go to UV editor, is you can see that it's not UV unwrapped. Okay. All right. Another trick, one trick that I like to do, because I'm going to be living in this menu for a while UV unwrapping, I like to put stuff to this custom shelf put here so I can use them instead of going into this every minute. It could get annoying, it could get repetitive, and you probably exhaust you. So we always look for the easy peasy way. So since I'm going to be using this UV editor a lot, so I'm going to hold down Shift and Control and left click, and you see adds it to the shelf. So instead of going up here, I could just click on here and the UV editor opens up for me. Okay, all right. So another tool that I use a lot is the 3D cut and sew tool. This is not the modeling tool, so please don't mix it up with a modeling tool. This is a 3D cut and sew UV tool. So I like to add it to the shelf. So hold on, Control Shift and left click, and it adds it to the shelf over here. Okay, so add those two to the shelf. All right. First thing I like to do when I'm UV unwrapping anything, I like to go through, I like to select all my geometry, select everything, and then I go to UV. I could go through all these menus here, but I'm just going to go to planar, and I'm going to go edit, reset. Then I'm going to turn on keep in width height ratio, and I'm going to just click on camera, and I'm going to press apply. All right. I'm going to move this to the side a little bit. I'm going to show you in a second what just happened. So I'm going to go to the UV editor. You can go here and find the UV editor here, or because I put it on my shelf, I have easy access to it here. I'm going to turn on the checker pattern here, right? And as you can see, it's looking good, except everything, the checker pattern is so evenly done, but there's issues that need to be fixed. But you can see the size of the checker pattern that we want to get to. So that's why I like to use the planar projection option box and this setting and apply at first. All right. Okay, cool. So, all right, so that's the first thing. I'm going to right click and press object. And then I'm going to go one by one. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go click on this button here to isolate it. I'm going to press F to frame. I could turn off my checker pattern inside here so I can see this better. And just examine this thing. This thing is made up of cylinders. So just remember, like when you were kids and you're making like party hats, we want to unwrap this thing here. So boom, cut that. We want to cut a seam there. We want to cut one here. We want to cut another one here. And we want to cut this here like so. Actually, I could go inside, like this one is good. Then I like to cut this, and I'm going to cut this seam here. I have to cut that, yeah. And then the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to cut one just like that. Okay, I'm going to turn off the grid because I don't want to get distracted. So you see how I cut that up? Gonna cut here. No, I'm gonna cut here. Gonna cut here, and then I'm gonna cut this one here. So watch what's gonna happen. Oh, I think I need to cut something inside here too. So because this is inside, cut that one, and cut here. All right. So I do a whole bunch of cut there, and did I do one here? I didn't do one here, right? No, I didn't do one here. So I need to do one here too. All right, so I'm gonna cut there. Then I'm gonna go here, UV editor, or click on here, and I go back to my UV editor, press F to frame. I'm gonna press Q key on the keyboard to select the selection tool. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna go UV. I'm gonna grab everything. Over here on your right hand side, there's a thing called unfold. Just gonna click on unfold, and this is what I get. This is what I get. Gonna right click. No, I'm gonna big this menu up. Gonna click on align. I'm gonna open up arrange the layout and this thing called orient shell. Click on that. I'm gonna go on transform. I could rotate this by pressing E key and rotate it manually, but there's tools in here to help you rotate so it snaps and you don't have to like, rotate. You're like, oh, is it straight? Is it straight? Eyeballing. No, we don't want that. So that's why we click on orient shell and let it, evenly done. So I'm going to click this and move this off to the side over here. And I'm going to select this. I'm going to move this off to the side over here. So how do I move? I do right click, select here, control right click to shell, and it select everything. Then I could just rotate it manually by pressing E. With the rotate tool, I'm pressing W with the move tool. I'm going to put that other way. So I'm just going to go right click and just move the shell and organize them. So we're not really even done with these yet. We're just putting them off to the side so we could get to them on a later date. Okay. One thing I want to tell you guys though, you see how this thing is not really straight? It's a cylinder, but it's not really straight, right? So if you're nitpicking, or like if you don't want to leave or want to have to like do your UVs and fix them, you just want to go straight to texturing, and you don't want to run into any issue. This big piece here, I could do something with it. I could select it. I'm just going to go faces. I'm going to select everything here. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to isolate that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to UV, and I'm going to go cylindrical mapping. And it's kind of weird. So I'm going to just select here and close it. I'm going to click this, and it comes up with like this gizmo. I'm going to rotate this until it's like the size of here. And if you look, and if I go to my UV editor, let's see what happened. So we'll press F. So just like that. And I could click on the rotate, like I'm rotating, like if I rotate like this, it rotates back. And if I turn on the checker pattern here, I could see that the thing is not squared. The checker pattern is not squared, so it's okay. I could just scale it squish it down because it has the scaling gizmo. I'm not using the scale tool. It's the cylindrical mapping gizmo that's doing that for me. So just pay attention to that and see. So anyways, I'm going to turn off the checker pattern now. And I think this is okay. Okay. If you're really picky, and we're artists, we're always striving for perfection. But this is a lot straighter than the one that I had earlier. So, couple of things I could fix. This, where we see red, that means it needs to be unfold again a little bit. So I'm just going to click that, unfold, see that? Click that, unfold. And couple of things I could do. I could turn off the border edges. So this turn on the border edges, you need to see it where your seams are. And so that's why this is on. So I'm going to right click, select the UVs. I'm going to turn off the border edges because I'm going to turn off the border edges. I'm going to select here. A tool I like to use is called Align and Snap. Slap to this side and select the other side and slap to that side. Then I like to go inside here and see if I get a good unfold, which I did. So that looks good. I'm just going down the line and I'm just snapping. I'm just pressing G key. G repeat the command that you just did. I'm trying to think if, okay, there's another thing we could use versus like going one by one and straightening it out. There's another thing we could use. So I'm going to show you. So right click, UV, control, right click to shell, select everything. This thing called straighten UVs. And just like that, perfect, right? You can zoom in on here, you see it's straightened, but I'm pretty sure you spot a problem already. You spot you spot, I'm pretty sure many of you guys saw a problem. Don't know if you spot it, but I'm going to do a pop quiz. Anybody see the problem? Hello?
Yes, yes, on the top, it's not got aligned.
Which one?
At the top,
Somebody replied. Oh, the
at the
person,
first,
the top.
The vertices on the top are not aligned.
Really? Up here? Those are, everything is straight here. But the problem here is this here. You see this start being red? So we have to unfold that and unfold. So what we're not seeing any, we zoom in, you're not seeing any overlapping or anything like that. When it overlaps, I'm going to show you. So when it overlaps, you're going to see red. Once you've seen red, you know something's up with the UVs. So this part is done. So I'm just going to like stack it. We're going to organize in a little later when we finish unwrapping everything. And then I'm going to explain to you more about text density when we start packing stuff. But for now, we're just going to like unwrap and just like blow through the unwrapping process. I have to give you a heads up that the UV unwrapping process is repetitive. So it might not be for everybody. It might bore some people, but it's necessary. So that's a heads up there, right? So I'm going to just select this and isolate it. So I'm going to go File, Save my scene. That'll be a good time to save your scene. So if I was to like minimize this and go back to UV Editor, turn on the checker pattern, what happened? You see that? Right? Beautiful.
yes,
Beautiful. So, all right. Now, if you go over to your right-hand side here, you'll see all this thing is called history. This thing is called history. And we have to get rid of it once we unwrap stuff. Meaning, if you were to bring this rig this asset with these on it, it will slow down your whole scene, and your UV will be sliding all over the place. Your texture will be sliding all over the place. So whenever I unwrap something, I like to go to Edit, Delete by Type, History. Remember, you hold on Control and Shift and left click to add it to the shelf, so you can always, because we're going to be using a lot, so good thing to have stuff on your shelf that you're going to use a lot. Now that this piece is done, I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to call this done underscore UV. All right. And once I am done, I just hide that and then bring back these pieces. So now let's do the others. So isolate this. Have a look at how these are. These are like cylinders. So what I like to do is just get my favorite cut UV tool here, and I like to cut these on here, and one, cut here, cut there. Understand? Cut here, cut there. And you see the white, you see the thickened edges as you cut it. I think I'm going to put the cut in the middle here. Cut here and here. All right. All right. And then you go to UV editor and you press F. Press Q, and then you go right click UVs, select everything, then you go unfold. I want you to click on this button over here where you see that color. And then the next move we're going to do, we're going to say orient shell. I want everything to be in a particular direction. So you go up here. You could always, as I said, press the E key and rotate it manually, but you don't have to. Just click this and it rotates for you. We're not packing them now, so let's just move this out of the way. If you want to see how it looks, the UV looks on it. If you want to see if there's any distortion, you click on the checker pattern, and by the looks of it, it looks great. All right. Remember to delete history once you're done, and put that to the done UV stack. All right. So we're actually making grounds. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, hold on. There's two of them. Okay, so if you guys realize that there's like two of these thing here, just select one of these and just delete it. Let's see. Yeah. So there was like two of these things. So just delete when you open up your file, when you see it, just delete one of them. Okay. All right. So okay. So this is done. Put that on the layer. Gonna turn on the checker pattern here. And we're working our way down. So this piece looks very good. So I'm going to isolate again. Going to press F to frame. I'm going to go back to my favorite tool, and I'm going to cut. Luckily, this doesn't have like an end. And then look where I'm putting the seam. It's underneath it. So if I turn back on this, and if my camera is looking like this, my camera is looking like that, the seam is underneath here. So when you're unwrapping things,